Today in this video, we are building a full stack AI SaaS application using Next.js, AssemblyAI, Liveblocks, Clerk, AI agent and Codex. This is not just another task manager. Most productive apps are disconnected. One tool for a task, another for notes, another for a calendar, whiteboard and another for AI chatbot just to stay organized. So today we are solving that problem by building a complete AI productivity SaaS app where everything works together inside one smart AI powered workspace. This video is important because users now expect an AI assistant, voice commands, real-time collaboration, automation and production ready workflow inside the same product. Hey there and welcome back to TubeGuruji channel. Inside this project, we will build a ChatGPT style AI assistant, smart dashboard, task manager, calendar reminder, Kanban board, voice powered notes, collaborative whiteboard, pages and spaces and AI template builder for custom single page apps. We will also use a Codex throughout the development process to build faster, fix bugs, improve the code quality and create production ready features. And to make this tutorial easy to follow, I divided the complete project into a clear chapters with a ready to understand notes available for free. Also, I am launching a special giveaway challenge for this video. Your task is simple. Build an app using AssemblyAI, Liveblocks and Clerk authentication. You can use AI tools like Codex, Cursor, Cloud Core or any other AI coding assistant to build your project faster. Once your app is ready, submit your GitHub repo using the form link provided in the description. You have only 15 days to submit your project. After that, I will announce the winner on X and YouTube and feature the top 3 projects. First place will get $100 gift card, second place will get $75 and third place will get $50 gift card. Also, fourth and fifth winner will receive 6 months of TubeGuruji membership. So start building, submit your project in next 15 days and get chance to win exciting prizes. Now let me walk through the application demo first which we are going to build in this project. Now this app called Flowbase, which is an AI productivity app. Everything in one place. Now after jumping onto this landing screen, you can simply sign into the app and then navigate to the dashboard. On this dashboard, you will see a complete status of each functionality. You have quick access, recent activity, upcoming calendar invite and many other details. Then you have AI assistant which is connected to all the application inside this one app. Let's start the conversation and whichever task you want to add, you can directly tell to the AI assistant. So here we'll say add client meeting reminder for 25th May and then simply send it. Now AI will automatically detect which app need to call and then it will automatically generate the UI to confirm it. Once you confirm, you will see this calendar invite added under the calendar page. So if I go to this calendar for the 25th, you will see a new calendar invite added. Pretty cool, right? You also have option to view this calendar in a week view or even month view. Then you can add a task as per your convenient and then it will automatically add it to that specific date. You can even add a draft task. You can simply add the task, select the date, task type and category. You can save this task as a draft and later on if you want to move this task to any date, simply drag it and drop it. You can even reschedule it to any other date. Pretty cool, right? Everything can possible inside this calendar. Then you also have the task and Kanban section where you can create the new board as per your project. Then you will see you have option to create a new task in that particular column. Once the task is created, it will add it to that particular column. You can even sync that task directly inside the calendar by just checking this box. Once the task is created, you will see this task under this to-do list. Anytime you can move this task to other column. just by dragging and dropping. If you want to add a new column, so for example, let's say ready to deploy as a new column, just click add a column and then that column will add it to your Kanban board. You can even collaborate your Kanban board with other user by just entering the user email, and then you will see all the live collaborator on this Kanban board. With the help of Liveblock, we added this feature in just few lines of code. You have option to edit any Kanban, any task at any time. We also have the comment on the task section with a threading feature, where you can add a threading comments using a Liveblock functionality. Then we have a AI powered note section where you can simply start talking with these notes and then it will start typing it. This is very powerful feature, and if you see, as I am speaking, it automatically typing inside the note. This feature we added with the help of AssemblyAI, and you will learn how can we easily add this kind of feature to any AI SaaS application. And without writing, I just wrote multiple line of code inside my notes. This is a rich text editor. It means you will see we have this option to select and just start typing. You will see all the option to this rich text editor as well. You can pin this rich text editor on note. You can change the color, icon, category and many other things. We are not simply building a plain app, but we are adding all the features which is required to any user. We also have the whiteboard where you can simply plan your workflow inside this whiteboard. You can add all the diagrams, different elements, the sticky notes. You can collaborate this with the other, and the most interesting, you can draw the diagram using an AI. You simply enter the prompt and it will generate a beautiful flowchart inside your whiteboard. You can export this into a PNG file and it will download in the form of PNG. All the tools are available inside the whiteboard. Then we have pages and spaces section where you can create a number of spaces for you. In each spaces you can create a multiple pages by entering few details, and then inside that you can have your own pages and you can write content in that. Similar like a notes, we also added a voice assistant or voice agent directly in order to write your pages content. Then we have this AI template builder in order to create an app. It's very easy, just enter the app idea, then simply click generate and then it will generate the quick idea for you. We also implemented a free and pro or paid user plan where it will restrict user from creating a multiple templates, or we have some limitation for the free user. And if you see in this case, I cannot create more than one app. You can add this particular created app to your sidebar in just one click, and here you will see that app is now added. You can open that app as a new complete feature inside your project. All of this particular setting you can manage through the setting page. Here you can manage the profile section, your subscription as well. Here you will see the free plan, an option to upgrade your plan. Then you can manage all of the features category from the setting option. Here we have calendar invite, events category, task and Kanban category, notes and reminder. You can even change the colors, icon as per your preference. Then inside the AI setting you have option to select the different model, behavior and some extra options. Then inside the preference you will find a different application preference and privacy policy. One more interesting thing about this, that if you want to use an AI, just select it, then you will get this bubble toolbar. Click AI refine and you can improve the grammar if you want, and immediately AI will improve the grammar. See, pretty quick, right? If you want to make this a longer text, just click on it and then it will make a longer text, and everything all the AI feature we added. All of these workspaces feature status you will find on the dashboard. At the end, we are going to deploy our application on the cloud so that you can share this project with your friends and family. I will also put the link of this video or demo in the description so you can go ahead and check it out. Now, in order to build this project, we are going to use an AssemblyAI streaming speech to text AI model, which is one of the best and fastest streaming to speech text API. I'm going to give you the free credits if you click the link in the description and sign up with that link. Then we are also going to use an AssemblyAI voice agent in order to do the two-way conversation. It's very easy to integrate, and I'm going to show you a proper demo with this AssemblyAI. Then for the real-time collaboration, we are going to use a Liveblock. In that, we are going to add a multiplayer real-time collaboration, a comment contextual commenting, and many other collaboration feature from the Liveblock. In order to review your code using an AI, we are going to use a free planout.dev platform. This is a tool which I recently built it. In this tool, you can create your project execution plan. You can simply copy the prompt and paste it in order to build your complete project. But you can even review your code line by line with an inline comment. You can track your complete project and PR summary inside the planout.dev dashboard. It's free to use. Then in order to track your complete website with all the analytics and the payment using the web tracking. This is a tool which I also built it, where you can track your source, referral, the campaign, then which country you are getting the visits, which region, which different operating system, browser user are visiting your website. Everything can possible with the web tracking. And in order to get access to all of my source, then simply go to the TubeGuruji.com and then enroll to the whichever course you want to join it. You can track each course chapter by chapter. You can get access to the source code. You can see the live demo. You can even watch on YouTube, and make sure to submit your project on the TubeGuruji.com in order to get a certification. Everything is available on the TubeGuruji.com. So guys, if you are new to this channel and did not subscribe to our channel, please make sure to subscribe, press like button, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to press notification bell icon so that you will not miss any update from me. Now, without doing any further delay, let's begin to develop AI productivity SaaS application. In order to create a React Next.js application, we are going to use this fast Next.js app boilerplate. I built the new boilerplate for you guys, because in this boilerplate, it comes with a lot of tech stack options. For example, in the styling, you have option to select Tailwind CSS, Shadcn, Daisy UI, or Fly-on UI. Or for a database, you have different option along with the Supabase or Neon or even Firebase Firestore. For authentication, you can go with the Clerk, Next.auth or BetterAuth as well, and some payment gateway and email option as well. And while in the command line, you will select those options, and then your project is ready with this all the tech stack pre-configured. So you don't need to configure separately. Now, in order to set up, you just need to copy this npm command or xpx command. It's totally up to you. And then you can open a project where you want to create. So in this folder, I will open a terminal, add that folder, and simply paste the command which you copied. If you are using Windows, make sure to open a command prompt. Then say yes to proceed, and it will ask you to enter the project name. So I will say Flowbase Productivity App Prod, and then here you have option to select a different component library. Now you have Tailwind CSS, Shadcn, Daisy UI, Fly-on UI, and there are many others. It's totally up to you which one you want to select. Now I will go with the Shadcn because it has pre-built UI components and very easy to integrate with the Next.js app. Then you have option to select a database, which database you want to select. So I will go with the Neon database because we want a proper structural records to be saved into database. So this Neon PostgreSQL database is the best option, and whatever the resources we are going to use is completely free. Then for authentication, I will go with the Clerk because it is one of the topmost and recommended authentication service. So I will go with the Clerk. And then for payment gateway, you can set none. For email sender as well, we'll set none for now, but later on you can add it. And for a package manager, we'll select npm. Then we'll initialize the Git, and then we want to install all the npm package. And now if you see, it started installing for you. So whatever the option you selected, right, based on that it will give you the complete bundle project, which is a boilerplate, which you can run it immediately. And once it is ready, you will see the project is now ready, and you can now open in your favorite IDE. Now in this project we are going to use a Codex. Now this is the AI agent IDE built by the ChatGPT, and it is available for the Windows, Mac OS. Simply if you don't have, make sure to install it. I will put the link in the description if you want, so that you can easily install this Codex. And I already have installed, so I will open it. And then inside that you have to open in your open the existing folder. So here you have option to open that. So we'll say use existing project. Go to the project where you just created your app, and then we'll open it. Now on the left hand side you will see this project option. Simply click on it, or you can have option to click on this edit button as well. Now on the right hand side, once you make the changes, you will see all the files and all. Okay. Now at the bottom you will see the project which you open is now in selected mode. Okay, and we are obviously working on the locally. Here you can change the permission if you want. I will go with the default permission, and every time we want to make sure that whatever the feature we are implementing, first we'll confirm that feature. So we are telling to the AI agent to generate the plan mode. So we'll switch this to a plan mode. So it will give you the plan first before implementing any of the feature. Okay, as per our requirements. Now currently by default you can open this any of your file inside the VS Code or whichever the cursor you want. I selected this as an anti-gravity, so that if you want to open any file, it will open inside the anti-gravity. And if you see, it's open. Perfect. Now here we have some of the folders and file. I will walk through it. Okay, but throughout the project development we are using a Codex. But if you want to edit any file manually, then you can simply use your favorite IDE locally. Okay, now we have this app folder, and inside this app folder, if you see, we have sign in and sign up folder for the Clerk authentication, then the global CSS file and the layout.tsx file to hold the application root layout. Obviously in that we have HTML body tag where your application pages are going to render, and we have also metadata. This is very important for the SEO purpose. Then we have page.tsx file, which is the default page of our application. Now once we run the application, you will see this page is getting rendered. After that we have component folder, which contain all your shared CN component or the UI component or customized UI component, which you can keep it inside this component folder. The DB folder contain the initialization of the database which we are using, like Neon and the Drizzle ORM. So that connection or initialization is mentioned inside this index.ts. Then inside the schema file, whatever the table you want to add inside your database, you can provide in the form of schema along with the table name and the column and their type. Okay, now we don't want this post table, for example, so I can remove it, but you have to make sure you will push those changes that we'll see throughout the application. Then we have leave folder, which contain the shared CN related configuration. The node module folder we are not going to touch anytime. Then we have .env file. Obviously in that we have to add some configuration variable or environment variable like database URL, publisher, Clerk publisher key and the secret key, that I'm gonna tell you how to generate it, and some of the important file for the Drizzle config, component.json for the shared CN related configuration. Then we have packet.json. Along here you will see the name and version of the application, script to run and to build your application, the dependency along with their versions, and some dev dependency as well. Okay, and then at the last we have tsconfig file for the TypeScript related configuration. Now this is overall application files and folder structure which comes with the boilerplate and based on your selection. Now very first thing we need to do in order to run your application, either you can go to the Codex and then you can open a terminal. So at the top you will see an option called toggle terminal. It will open a terminal inside your Codex at the bottom side and just type a command npm run dev. And if you see, it's now running your application on port 3000 on URL localhost. So simply I will click on it and you can open that inside your inbuilt browser, okay, inside the Codex only. Obviously we are getting error because it's saying your publisher key is not valid, because we are protecting our application with the help of Clerk authentication, and right now we don't have the publisher key set up. So inside the .env file over here, if you see, we don't have the publisher key or secret key. Now before running our application we need to generate those keys. So simply I will go to the link in the description. Make sure to click the link, and so that you will get a free access to the Clerk plans and features. So Clerk is one of the best authentication service provider in the market. It provides a lot of different features. The one of the interesting feature which is inbuilt UI components, where in just one line of code you can use their inbuilt UI component. Obviously you can customize it if you want, it's totally up to you. Then it also provides a B2B authentication for your organization, or even the inbuilt billing feature, means you don't need to integrate a payment gateway. With the help of Clerk you can immediately add a pricing table along with the in-app purchases in just one line of code, and you can manage through the user profile component as well, that we'll see later on in this project. Now with the help of Clerk you can add a feature like multi-factor authentication, session management, or email SMS one-time passcode, and many different social sign-on option which you can immediately add in just one click. So make sure to click the link in the description to get a free access to the Clerk up to 50,000 user completely free. Then you can go to the dashboard, and here inside the dashboard I will go to this personal workspace, and then you will find an option to create an application. So click on it, then enter the application name, then select the sign in option which you want. For example, if you want Google, or let's say you want Twitter, just select it, and on the right hand side you will see the actual preview of the UI component, and then simply click create application. After that you can go to this configure, and inside the configure here you will find an option called API keys. From here you can simply copy those API key, go back to your .env file and then replace it, and then save it. Now as soon as you save those files, you will see your application is now running. Pretty cool, right? Here on the port localhost. Obviously you can extend this to full size as well, or if you want you can run this inside your actual Google Chrome browser. So if I run localhost 3000, you will see your application is now running. Now this is just a default page, okay, comes with a boilerplate. Right now you don't need to worry about anything, because we're gonna tell AI to implement all our pages, functionality and everything. But for now, make sure you're able to create your Next.js application from this boilerplate. Then you are also set up with the Clerk publisher key and the secret key, and you update it inside your .env file. After that we have to make sure your application is running. Okay, next we will understand the complete application workflow, and then we'll start implementing each feature one by one. Now once you are done with the application creation process, now it's time to push this code to the GitHub, because for each chapter we are going to create a separate branch so that we can maintain the code versions, and you will understand how in a proper way we are pushing our code based on implementation. So I will go to the GitHub, and inside the GitHub we'll create a new repo. So here I will name it as a flow-based productive AI app, and then simply click create repo. You can make this choose visibility as a public, that's completely fine. And then you have to set the remote origin, because we already initialized the Git. Either you can go to the Codex, okay, and inside the Codex, so let me close this for now, and we'll open a terminal. You can add a new terminal as well, and then once you initialize the Git, you can set this remote origin, okay. After that, you can push the code. So here we'll say first we'll give the commit message, and here we'll add it as a git, initial commit, we'll say initial commit. Then obviously these are some unstaged file, so we have to add those files first in the stage mode, and then you can run this commit command, and then we'll say git push. Now you are pushing it first time, so you might see this error, okay. So basically we have to push it to the main branch with this command, and then once you push it, you can go back to the GitHub, and then once you refresh, you will see all your files are now pushed to the GitHub repo. Now one important thing we are going to do is we are going to connect this to a Planark. Planark is a platform which I built it for the developers, where you can review your code with the help of AI by just connecting your GitHub project to the Planark. And not only that, but Planark also give you an execution plan for your any project. You just need to enter your requirements, and then Planark automatically give you the tech stack to select, and then it will generate a proper task for you, where it has the inbuilt AI prompt to copy paste in your favorite ID. Everything can possible with the Planark. Click the link in the description to get access to the Planark for free, and then sign in. Once you sign in, you will jump onto the dashboard. Now I will go to this code review section, but if you want to build any project, you can go to the new plan and start building it. But if you just want to review your code with the Planark, go to the code review. Make sure to connect your GitHub account with the Planark, and then you have option to add a repo. Just click on it. Now I have to add the authentication, and then here you have option to select the repo. Either you can give access to all repo, or you can give access to the important repo only, and then click save. Once you click save, it will go back to the Planark again. Then go to the code review, and then here you will see your just created project, okay. Now in order to trigger this, and in order to review your code with using the Planark, make sure to enable this. So it will enable now. You can obviously update your setting anytime. You can run the updated or latest raise pull request by clicking this run button, but this Planark will auto trigger on your PR as soon as you raise it. If you see in many of my application, I already review my PR, and here you will see the actual details. Each PR contains proper summary, what are the changes you made, and everything you can document it at one place, which is a Planark, okay. So give a try. I will put the link in the description. It's a completely optional, but it's very good a way to review your code with the AI. Now let's understand the project development plan. So I created this complete video into a small chapter, and each chapter has the different feature which we are implementing. So it will be easy for you to follow up with me. Now very first thing we already done with the project setup, right, which is the first step. Next we have to set up a database and authentication, so that as soon as you user sign into our application, we want to save user information to our database. That's the second thing. In the third, we need to create a dashboard layout. Then we need to add each feature one by one, like calendar page, Kanban taskboard, notes, whiteboard, spaces pages, and many others. And at the end, we are going to deploy our application on the cloud, so that you can try the application demo. And all of this chapter I divided into a small notes, so it will be easy for you to understand the flow as well, okay. So let's begin. Now in this chapter we mainly going to focus on setting up the database. Now, in order to set up a data, we already selected the Neon and Drizzle ORM as our DB, right, in order to connect our application. So inside the .env file, you will see a database URL. Currently, it's just a placeholder. So I will remove that, and we have to add the actual one. So I will go to the Neon. If you don't have an account, make sure to create a new account and simply sign in to the neon.com. Then you will redirect it to the project page. If you don't have any project created, you can simply create it. It's completely free. Then I will go to the one of the project dashboard. Here you will see a lot of different options. You can explore it. But in order to create a new table, simply click on connect. Here under the database, click on create new database and enter the database name. After enter, just click create and then it will generate a connection string. Here you have option to explore the different type of code, but we just need a connection string. So simply copy that and then inside the editor, you can simply paste it, okay, and then save it. And that's all, because with the boilerplate, all the connection with the Drizzle ORM and everything is ready. So you don't need to do anything, okay. Now we'll go back to the Codex and then we are going to write our first prompt. Now the thing is, we just need to save the user information as soon as users sign in. So with the help of Clerk, user will sign in and sign up to our app. We already have the Neon PostgreSQL database set up, and then we just want to save that user information once it log in very first time. So in the Codex, we'll just enter a prompt. Once user sign in or sign up to application, save user information to database. Make sure not to use webhook, okay. And I think that's all we needed. Let's send this because we already connected, and this AI will automatically understand the all your project files and folder structure and everything, so you don't need to worry about that. Let's send it and then let's wait for the complete implementation. Now, interesting part about this Codex that you can run a multiple AI agent. It means you can run another task in the same way, but I don't want to implement like that. Otherwise, you will get confused and you will lose the track, right, while developing this complete application. So we'll go one by one, and then once you are pro in developing the application, then you can execute multiple AI agent tasks in the same time. Now, in meantime, you can also see that Codex will ask you some question for the confirmation. Now, first thing it asks that how should your app identify save user, okay. Either you can add a Clerk ID or email only. It's totally up to you. Clerk ID is the best way, but I will go with the email only, because later on if you want to change the authentication for your application, you can do it. So that I will go with the email only option in this case, sorry. And if you see, it gives us an proper plan before implementing it, because that's what we asked at the very initially, right. Also over here you can walk through it, what are the implementation plan, how it's planning to implement, all the details you will find, okay. And once you are happy with it, you can just say yes, implement this plan, okay. And then now Codex will start implementing our request based on whatever we ask for. So here once it is implemented, it might ask you this question: do you want to allow the Next.js production build to run outside the sandbox? That's completely fine, and we'll say yes. And you can even select this option. We'll say yes, don't ask again, and command to start it, okay. And now once it is implemented, you can see the web view. You can simply open it, and on the right side it will open with all the latest changes, and you will see what are the different files it modified. Now let's go to the sign in. So we'll go to the sign in page, and it will open the pre-built Clerk's UI component, something like this. Pretty cool, right? Now you can select whichever sign in option you want in order to sign in. So we'll sign in with the Google. Once you sign in, we will again jump back to the home screen, because that's how we set up it. Just sign in and come back to the home page. Now, in order to check whether the user information saved or not, you can go to the Neon and go to the table where you just created this database. So under the table tab, you will see a flow space, and inside this you will see an ID, the name, the email when it's created, and the clerk ID as well. And even though if you try to reload this page every time, right, it will not save it again and again, because it only check for the unique email ID, and then only it will insert the record inside your table. Now you can even run this studio locally instead of going on the Neon website every time. You can do it, just go to the Codex, and inside that, let me close this, and we will open a terminal, and then you can simply say npm, or we will say npx drizzle kit and studio. Now studio will open your studio locally, and you can, if you run push command, then it will basically whatever the changes you made inside your schema file, that changes will get applied. But obviously here we'll say drizzle kit studio command. Okay, so once you run the studio, you will see the local drizzle studio is now running, and inside that you will see ID, name, email, and whatever the table which we have inside our database. Pretty cool, right? So that's how you have to set up the database and authentication and save the user information as soon as users sign in to our app. Now once you're done with this implementation for this particular chapter, it's time to commit these changes. Okay, so under this section, the git, I will select the main, and inside the main we'll create a new branch. So obviously it auto populate the branch name, that's a good thing. So we'll say create and check out this branch. Once you check out, you can commit your changes, so whatever the changes you made. So obviously you can see the changes which you made in this particular chapter, and then we'll say commit. Okay, you can give the commit message. So again we'll say auth and DB setup, say continue, and then you can push those changes. So you have option to push those changes, so simply say push, and then we'll say continue. Okay, now once you push these changes on your GitHub repo, you will see a pop-up to create a pull request. So just click on this, we'll say compare and create a pull request. Click on create pull request, and then once the pull request is created, automatically Planark will get triggered, and it will say that it will start review your PR. Planark is so fast, within a few or couple of seconds it will give you the complete application or the changes summary which you made inside this PR. Then it will also add an inline comment directly inside your PR as well. Obviously you can make a modification if you think that that need to be changed. Also it will give you that how many credit is used for this particular PR, and everything. Once you are happy with it, simply merge your pull request. Now if you go back to the Planark, I will refresh this page now and open your repo, you will see the total PR review is 1. The obviously this triggered by AI, so it's a 1 only, and success rate is 100%. You will see your PR, right? You can obviously open this PR anytime, which is linked, and if I click on this view report, you will see the complete summary of the changes which you made inside your PR. Pretty cool, right? And it will be there for you every time. Whenever you come back after a month or year, this summary will stay inside the planark.dev, so that it will be easy for you. You can copy that for your documentation purpose as well. So that's why Planark is so important for the developer to manage their code review, all the PR and the code versioning, everything from the one app. Now let's implement a dashboard layout. It is very important to add a dashboard. Once user authenticate to our application, then he will see all the features available inside our application. And obviously we want to add a sidebar navigation where we want to add few options like home, AI assistant, calendar, and all the features which we are implementing. Okay, and I already wrote a prompt for that one. Inside this note you will find an each detail. Okay, what is the purpose of the sidebar, how the behavior should be like, and everything. Once you copy this prompt, go back to the Codex and make sure to create a new session. Inside that, obviously we want a plan mode, so I will enable this plan mode, enter the prompt and then simply send. Okay, now we'll wait for the implementation plan to be generated, because it will walk through with our application structure first and then it will give you a proper implementation plan. And if you see, the implementation plan is ready, so we can expand this. So it will give you the summary, what are this dashboard sidebar layout plan, then the key changes, what are the key changes it's making, the theme and styling. It also adding a theme.md file, because we are told in the prompt to add the theme.md file. So later on it will automatically take a reference from the theme.md file. The implementation details, okay, so it will use a Lucid React icon library, which is already inside our package.json file, and pretty good. So we'll go with this plan. So we'll say yes, implement this plan, and then it will start implementing each feature which we mentioned. Okay, now I will pause the video and we'll come back and we'll see the final result, how our dashboard layout will look like.
A few moments later.
And once it is implemented, you can go to this section and here click on this plus icon. You can open a browser inside your Codex, and then we can simply add a localhost 3000. Okay, so it will run our application, and if you see, we have this beautiful dashboard. Now it's still generating the final result. Okay, but in meantime you can see this complete dashboard preview. For a full screen, either you can click on this icon, okay, it will open the full screen, or you can open inside your browser directly. So over here, if I go to this dashboard, you will see now this dashboard along with the sidebar is collapsible. So that if I collapse this sidebar, you will see it only show icon. If I open it, you will see now it expanded. On the right hand side, this is just a dashboard placeholder. Okay, obviously we are going to update this completely, so don't worry about this, just focus on the sidebar thing, because we want to make sure our sidebar is working perfectly. Now I want to group this particular section, the icons, okay, with the group label, and also the theme is little bit cozy, right? We want to give some freshness touch. So you can go to the Codex and just tell that you want to make few changes. So right now the theme.md file is also added, and along with that there are some file changes and new file as well. But let's add this. So here we'll say make sure to group the sidebar menu option with group label and make sidebar menu little bit smaller. Also cozy theme little dull, make it fresh. Okay, so we want the theme to be fresh, so that's what we told to the AI agent. I will make sure our prompt is also updated, but in meantime let's send this to the Codex AI agent and we'll wait for this quick fixes or quick update. And now if you see, we have this beautiful updated design as well, and here all of this option also grouped it together and it's little bit fresh from the previous one. Okay, now as I say, just focus on the sidebar. So if you have any question, any doubt regarding implementing this dashboard layout, let me know, because now going forward we are going to start implementing each feature one by one. Now once you implemented all the changes and feature in this particular chapter, make sure to push it by creating a new branch. So I'm gonna create a new branch, so let's collapse this, and here you can click on this your branch. Now obviously we want to create a new branch. Obviously it comes with adds dashboard sidebar. We'll create this branch and check out, then we'll commit all the changes. So it also staged all the unstaged files. Click continue and then make sure to push it. Once you push, go back to your repo, and inside this repo you will get a pop-up to create a pull request, the alert, and then click create pull request. Automatically the planarc.dev will start reviewing your code, and within a few seconds you will see it also reviewed as well. So fast. None of the NEPR services will give you this fast result, okay? And here you will see the complete result. Once you are happy with all the changes, simply merge those changes to the main branch. Now let's implement the calendar page, which is the actual one of the feature of our application. Now on this calendar page, we are going to show a default calendar view, okay, of the current month. So depends on the date, it will automatically show the complete calendar view. Then the navigation option to go back to the previous month or the next month, or even jump to the current date, and month and weekly view. So we are going to add a weekly view as well, so user can switch between the month or weekly view. Then a task creation flow, where user once want to create a task, then he can create a task. Obviously we want to add some draft task panel. If user don't want to schedule, he can move back to the draft panel, or any draft task can move to the, or you can drag and drop to the any date. So you can also add a rescheduling by just dragging to and dropping to the other date. Color coding for the different task category, and later on we also want to connect this calendar to the other feature, okay? So this is overall about the calendar page. You can find this note inside the eraser doc. It's completely free along with the prompt. So I already added the prompt. You can simply copy that, go back to the Codex, and don't forget to create a new conversation, okay? So I will start a new conversation and simply paste it here. If you want, you can keep the browser open on the right side always. If you want, it's totally up to you. I will click close this review, and you can go to the localhost because that is currently on, and then I will switch this to a plan mode every time, okay, whenever I want. So let's send this prompt, and later on if needed we can modify some changes if you need it, okay, and we can tell it to the AI agent. But right now let's wait for the implementation plan. So right now it asks how do you want to store the data, right, to create a task and everything. So we'll say database table because we directly want to save the database table. So we'll say database table here. Then it asks where should you calendar live in the app, okay? So we want a dedicated calendar page, or you can have a different option, but we want a dedicated calendar page. So you can select the proper option from the list. Now next question, it asks what field should an add edit dialog include, right? So it has a simple field which is recommended, and if you see some of the option, right? But I will add our own custom option like add a task, title, description, time to select, and category section. I think that's all we needed, okay? We don't want to add too much detail into that, and then simply click continue. Then which category model should task reminder color coding use, okay? So we'll go with these present categories, and then once you send these choices, then it will think about this and it will start implementing it. And now if you see, we got the proper implementation plan. So this is a summary. Obviously it's creating a new page called /calendar. So on click of this calendar, it will go to that calendar page. Then there are few key changes. Then it will add the calendar UI, the task and draft behavior, okay, and then responsive and visual requirements. So it will make sure it is completely responsive. So once you are happy with it, simply click on implement this plan. And now I will pause the video and will wait for this complete implementation plan. Not plan, but actual implementation.
A few moments later.
And after implementing, if you see, it also tested by itself. The Codex will help you to test this functionality. It also tests the mobile view, okay, how it looks on the mobile view, and if it fails, then or it's not look good, then it will make the modification accordingly. And right now if you see, it making automatic adding the task or everything. Okay, I'm not touching to the browser at anywhere. It automatically doing everything by itself, just to make sure the functionality is working. And if you see, now it's completed. So let's test this out. So I will increase this size. Okay, we'll make a bigger screen. So right now, okay, let it again refreshing everything. Let me see why we are getting error. Okay, so make sure to refresh it. So there is some issue while refreshing, and I will open a new or bigger screen. And over here, if you see, we have this calendar page. Let's click on it. So it will jump onto the calendar route. So over here, now we have this calendar page with a proper view. On the right side, you will see a draft task panel where you can add a draft, right? Now let's open in actual browser and let's see how it looks. And if you see this calendar view, okay, now obviously you can jump from the dashboard to the calendar directly, and then you will see all of this calendar view. Now you can move to the next month or previous month, or you can jump directly to the current month, today's date. Then you also have week option where you switch between the week as well. Okay, then in order to add a new task, just click on it, add a task name. So call with client. Okay, if you have any description, here will say Zoom link connect, and then you can select the time when you want to schedule or add this task. It's totally optional. Then what are the task type, whether it's a task or just a reminder, and whether it's a meeting or what type of category it is, right? Now this category later on we are going to manage from the setting page, so that you can add an extra categories if you want. It's totally customizable. Then simply click schedule. You also have option to save it as a draft, but let's schedule this, and now you will see it's scheduled. Perfect. Now if you want to move to the any other date, you can simply drag it and drop it to that specific date. Then under the draft section, you can add a draft task as well. Select the time and then simply click save draft. Once you click saved as a draft, here you will find it is under the draft section, but if you want to move, you can move and drop it to any specific date. Okay, now the question is, if I click on any of these tasks, right, see it's not opening. I don't know what is inside this task or what is not, right? So we have to modify that little bit. So on the click of schedule task, we want to open the same dialog in order to edit it. So inside the Codex, you can add it directly here. So we'll say on click schedule task, open edit dialog. Here we'll say same like, or here we say use new task dialog to edit / view the selected task data. Okay, I think that's all, and simply send it. So here in this case, we don't need any plan mode or anything like that. We gonna simply tell an AI agent to implement that fix. But other than that, everything look perfect, because you are able to schedule by just dragging and dropping and other things. But only thing was missing is when you add any new task, then it should open it in a edit dialog. And now once it is implemented, you can just click on it and boom, if you see, you can edit the current selected task as well. Okay, and once you save, it will automatically update that task, say. Okay, and you obviously you have all the option to be updated as well, but the most important thing, you can see what is inside this selected task. And that's all about this calendar page. Now this is a completely personalized calendar. It means you can modify, you can update the categories, everything, and it's very quick. Means if you want to add a draft quickly, you can add it. You don't need to fill lot of different information, schedule it. It will be at one place, and immediately it will add and schedule to your specific date. And most important, you can schedule it immediately. Okay, so if you have any question on this calendar page or calendar feature, let me know in the comment section. Now let's push this code. So we'll create a new branch first, and it's saying add calendar page. So we'll create this branch. Then we want to commit it. So we'll say calendar page added. We'll say continue, and then we'll push this code as well. Once it pushed, we'll go back to the GitHub repo so that our planarc.dev will review our code. So once we create the pull request, okay, and it's so fast, it will automatically start reviewing your code, and immediately it will give you the complete summary of your pull request, what are the changes you made, and the inline comment as well. Okay, and after that, once you are happy with all the changes, all the inline comments, then simply make sure to merge your pull request to the main branch. Now let's jump onto this Kanban page where user can easily add a task and they can move the task from one state to other. Now inside this Kanban/task board, user can add the multiple board. He can create a multiple board by just adding a board name. They can select the color and then create a board. On the column side where we are showing the actual Kanban board, we can add a different column. We can add a default column to, let's say, to do, in progress, review, but user have option to add an extra column or edit the name of the column or delete any column. Okay. Then under the task management section, basically we are adding an option to add a title, description, due date, priority label, and whether that task need to add on the calendar or not. Okay, we're gonna sync that as well. And after that, you will see some of the column option that is completely optional, because right now we are planning to implement rename column and the delete column. But if you want to add a change color reorder, you can add that too. Okay, and the last we have sync. So I already created the structured prompt for this Kanban board. Okay, you can simply copy that as it is, and if you want to add more improvement, you can implement later on as well. But right now with this particular prompt, I will copy it, we'll go to the Codex, we'll start a new conversation and simply add it. Now don't forget to ask for the plan first. Okay, it's good to have the plan. So I will switch on this plan mode and then we'll send this to the Codex. Now we'll wait for the complete implementation plan. Now in the meantime, obviously Codex will ask some confirmation, some choice between the multiple options. Make sure to select the appropriate based on your requirements, and then it will give you the complete implementation plan. So in this case, it asks first question, how do you want to save? So obviously we want to save in the persistent database. If you see, if you hover on this small information icon bar, then you will see the extra detail in that one. Obviously we don't want to go with the local and hybrid because we want to deploy this application in production. So we'll select that. The next question is what should the calendar notes toggle to do this in this version. So basically the calendar real notes flag. So let's hover on it and let's understand what it written. So it's written that calendar toggle create update a calendar item using a due date. Notes show a link indicator until notes exist. Okay. So I think we'll go with this one, and once we send, then it will start working on it. Now we have proper implementation plan, and in this one, this is the complete summary. So it's gonna create a new route, then the different key changes that it's gonna make, how the behavior will be. So this is important to understand. So on the left panel, it will show all the board for the sign user. Then it include a new board button that open a dialog with a board name and color selection, and display each board with a color dot and name, and clicking it will select it. Right on the right board, obviously it will show the complete columns, actual board which user selected, the task dialog, and then task card. Okay, so this is the main functionality or the UI UX behavior, how it actually works. Then it will also sync with the calendar/notes. Right now we don't have the notes page, but later on we can add that too. And then the test plan. So let's go with this implementation plan. So most of the time whatever we inputted, right, and the implementation plan comes out very correctly. So if you want to just skip the implementation plan and directly want to implement, you can do that as well. Obviously you can save some tokens. Okay, if you are using any other ID like Claude or Cursor, the token is very important because they have some limited time only to use the token, and again after that they will renew it, but you have to wait for that specific time. But I don't feel with this Codex, because once you have a free plan, I think you can go it. But if you have paid plan as well, so there is no very strict limitation. They have the limitation, but it's quite huge. So I will pause the video and we'll wait for the final implementation.
A few moments later.
Now once it is implemented, make sure to review the actual implementation walkthrough. Over here we have one note. It's saying I added the migration file, but I did not push or apply it to the live database. The DB will need that migration applied before Kanban can persist the data runtime. It means they added or updated the schema file, but we have to push it. Now in order to run the command, you just close this window for now, open a terminal inside the Codex, and then simply run a command npx drizzle git push. Okay, so with this command it will push the changes. If you see, it's now saying changes are applied, and then if you want to view, you can run the studio as well. I think maybe studio is already running. Yeah, studio is already running, and if you see, the table is now created. Now you can simply go to the Codex. It's totally up to you which browser you want to use, but if I go to the task slash Kanban, you will see this option. Now on the smaller screen this look little bit different, but on inside the actual window, if I go over here, you will see a new board option to create a new board. So here we'll say, let's say YouTube, create the board, and once the board is created, now you have option to add a task as well. Pretty cool, right? Now obviously here you have option to select the board. Here we'll say, let's say personal, create the board, and then you will see this icon, the color code as well. If you switch between this, it will automatically update your board as well. Okay, depends on your selection. Then you can add a task. So let's say a new video to publish. You can add a description or which column you want to add. Okay, by default, whichever column you selected, it will select under this drop down. Then the due date, if you want to add it. Okay, then what is the priority? If you have any design label, you can add that along with the option. I think it's better we can change this color. Okay, I don't like this color, but we can change the drop down, and whether you want to sync it with the calendar or not. Okay, and just once you click create, you will see the task is now created with the details. Perfect. On the click of it, you can open in the detail view as well. Another important to check it out, that you can add the multiple column. So if I click on add new column, so it's saying column name is required, so add a column name. So here we'll say deploy, or we'll say ready, whatever column name you want to give, you can just give it. So add a column, and then that column is now added. Perfect, right? So by default it added 3 column, but now we also added 4th column. If you want to edit the column name, you can edit that. If you want to add a task, or if you want to delete it, you can simply delete that particular column. Pretty cool, right? All the functionality work very smoothly, and I think that's all we want. Obviously you can move this task by just dragging it, and if you see, it's moved to this in progress, and same thing, you can move back again if you don't want to keep it in progress. So that's how it works. Only thing I feel that we can I don't want this text and it looks smaller. We can move this little bit up because there is a lot of space on the right side, so we can tell the Codex to update it. Right now here as well it's updated, but if I go over here, now you will see that change. So we can simply add remove Kanban board top header description because it's take too much space, and on right side of heading there is lot of empty space. Also move this side panel and Kanban board little bit up. Okay, so this is small changes. Obviously we don't need any plan for it, but it's important so that you don't see that empty space, right? And it look much screen look like a fill up, right? So that's what the we ask AI agent to modify. But other than that, everything look good. The functionality wise working properly. Whatever they want to edit, for example, if you want to change the name to some work, I will say, let's say personal work, you can update it, you can change the color code and everything, and then it works very seamlessly. And now if you see, the description is gone and now it's look much better. You can add one more thing, that you can set the board and personal work height to the screen height. Okay, here we'll say also update board and panel height to screen here we say screen height. Okay, so let's send this one as well. So as soon as you send, it will also update that particular fix. And now if you see, it's showing the full screen, and that's look much better than the previous one. Okay, now if you have any question or any doubts related to the task Kanban, make sure to ask in the comment section, or you can ask any question on the Discord channel. Also, the one last important functionality we wanted to test is whether it sync with the calendar or not, right? So right now I don't see any task. Let's create a new task, test task, and you want to add description, you can add. Let's select the date as a 18. Here we'll say priority low and sync with the calendar. So this option is important. Click create task. So it created a task. Now we can go back to the calendar, and for that date, if you see, the task is created, the test task on 18. Perfect. It means it's syncing with the task, or sorry, calendar as well. So that's very important thing we want to implement. Okay, and now it's time to push our code. So let's go back to the Git, and here we're going to create a new branch. So we'll click new branch. The branch name is autopopulates. That's good. Create a branch. Once you create, give the commit message. Here we'll say added Kanban task board. Then we'll say continue, and then don't forget to push your code. Once you push the code, we'll go back to our GitHub repo, and inside that we will get an option to create a pull request. Simply create a pull request so that planarc.dev will start reviewing your code automatically, and within a few seconds it will give you the proper summary and the inline code as well. And once you are happy with it, simply merge your pull request. Now inside the planarc.dev dashboard, under the code review, you will see all the PR that is completed, and you can even see the complete summary that what are the changes you made in that particular PR or branch. Now it's time to implement the collaboration feature, so that you can simply enter the user email and then you can collaborate with other user. So on this particular Kanban board, we are going to add a feature so that you can easily collaborate with other user. So in order to implement this feature, we are going to use a Liveblock. Liveblock is a real-time infrastructure for multiplayer apps and agent, where you can add this Liveblock in just few lines of code, and then you can easily add this feature. Liveblock provides a lot of different features, and if you see in this example how Liveblock actually help us. At the same time, you can collaborate with other users or other developer on the same screen. So they can also work on the same screen, and you can see in a real time. It also have a agent, and in the product you will see a multiplayer, a real-time collaboration, a comments, which also we are going to add like Copilot as well. All of these features you can easily add to your AI app, and with the help of Liveblocks, they also provide an option to storage, may store your data. So in this particular example, I will show you how to add this Liveblock with the help of Codex. And if you see, there are few examples which uses the Liveblock type functionality like a Google Doc, Figma, Notion and many others. So integrating a Liveblock is quite simple. First, we'll create a Liveblock project and I will show you how to do it. Then with the help of our AI agent, we are going to set up the SDK with all the endpoint, and then we are going to create a room in order to add the live collaboration. Okay. So integrating the Liveblock enable a real-time collaboration, and you can add a comment. And if you see in this example that once we add this collaboration feature, then you will also see how we can show the live user which is on that particular board. Okay, so that's what we are planning. And in order to add a comment section where you can add a thread, a style comment on that particular task. And there are a few other places also we are going to use this Liveblock. So you can add it on the whiteboard, notes and many other places. So I already wrote a prompt with a proper structure. You just need to copy this prompt as it is. So I will copy that prompt and then we'll go back to the Codex. Inside the Codex, let's create a new session and then simply paste it here. Okay. Once you paste it, I will remove this string and then we'll change this to a plan mode and simply send it to that AI agent. Now AI agent will automatically know the Liveblock documentation. If you want, you can go ahead and do the documentation, but in this case, you don't need to mention anything. Okay, so we'll wait for the implementation plan. And right now, if you see, it asks one question that what access should invited email receive on Kanban board. So we'll give a full edit option. And then second question will be how should invite work for email that do not yet account. So we'll go with the recommended setting. So it will show it as a pending by email. And then we'll just select this option. If you want, you can add any other option. And once you send it, then we'll wait for the complete implementation plan now. And now if you see, we have the implementation plan ready. So here we have the summary. Then there are some key changes that it installing the Liveblock packages for this particular project. Then the most important thing that we need a Liveblock secret key that we need to add inside the .env file because it helps us to integrate the Liveblock SDK. Then it will create some Liveblock reusable component which we can use it at other places, some data access and some UI changes as well. Okay, so it feels like the implementation plan is correct. If you see the documentation from the Liveblock, if I click on it, it automatically detects where this Liveblock documentation and information Codex is fetching from. All the details you will find it. Pretty cool, right? So you don't need to worry about anything. Liveblock documentation has everything. You can click the link in the description to get free access to the Liveblock. I will copy this. You can even copy this particular README file as well from the documentation. But let's go ahead and implement with this plan. Now we'll wait and then we'll come back.
A few moments later.
Now once it is implemented, it asks us to add this Liveblock secret key and the client maybe, and also we need to push the schema to the database. Okay, so let's go back to our application and inside the Liveblock website, make sure to click the link in the description to get access to this Liveblock for free and then simply click sign in. Once you jump onto the dashboard, you will see your complete usage and other setting, but here you have option to create a project. Give the project name. Here we'll say AI productivity app. You can select the region which is nearest to you, and it's just saying Earth, US, EU, and then your environment. Right now we'll keep environment as a development and then simply click create project. Over here you have option whether you want to do personalized setup or API key only. So we'll go to the API key because we already have the implemented. Now here we have the public key and the secret key. Simply copy that inside your .env file. So now you can copy this secret key okay, but before that I will go to the Codex and add this environment variable inside your .env file. So you can open .env through the editor, let's say Google Anti-Gravity or VS Code, and then add this .env file or .env variable, and then you can copy the secret key and simply paste it inside the .env, and that's all we needed. Okay, so I think it's ready, so let's go ahead and check it out. But before that, I think we also need to push the drizzle, or we need to execute the drizzle push command. So I will open the terminal, and inside this you can simply type a command npx drizzle git push, hit enter. Now it will say changes applied, it means your changes are pushed. We have an error, not error, but it's saying that add the constraint without truncating the table. So we'll say no and add a constraint, and now it's saying changes applied. Okay, now along with the live collaboration, we also implemented the comment part. Okay, so under the comment you can add a comment. We'll say second test comment and send it. Now the interesting part here is you can reply to the thread. Okay, so over here you can reply with the icons, emoji are already there, and then simply send it, say, and then under this section you will see it will immediately update it. Pretty cool, right? And that is already handled by the flow byte. You don't need to add any logic behind this, because Flowbyte is taking care of your reply threading or commenting on your each of the card. Okay, now in order to test the functionality of collaboration, because we already added the email, right, you need to have the two different instances. With the Next.js 16 you cannot create a multiple localhost with a different port, somehow it's rejecting. So better once you deploy your application to a production, then you can log in with a different user and then you can test this out. I did it on my another system, and it's working perfectly fine. So make sure to test that one as well. And don't forget to create a new account with the Liveblocks. The link is in the description. On this dashboard page you will see under the room that Kanban board one room is created. It has a 3 different comment added, and you will see the complete thread who added and all. Okay, so you will see that it's already connected to the Liveblocks rooms, and you will get all the event log. You can track each of the things, and here if you see 2 users in the room, which I tested with a different user, and it works perfectly fine. So that's how we have to integrate the Liveblock, because we are planning to implement this Liveblock at multiple places. Okay, as I mentioned early, so make sure to add that. Now it's time to push our code. So I will go back to the Git, we'll create a new branch, and then we have this auto populate branch name, and then we'll click create the branch. Once the branch is created, get commit, and here we say integrated Liveblock, then click continue. After this, make sure to push your code, and once the code is pushed, we'll go back to our GitHub repo in order to create the new pull request. Now obviously once you create the pull request, planarc.dev will start reviewing your code immediately as soon as you created this pull request. See, and then it will also give you the proper summary and the inline comment which he think that you need to update. Once you are happy with it, simply merge your code into the main branch, and later on everything you can access from this planarc.dev dashboard. Now it's time to implement the notes feature. This will be the rich note text editor which we are going to add, which can organize multiple notes. And then not only that, but we are going to add an AI feature in that one to fix the grammar or to rewrite the added notes, and you can even use your voice to add the notes. Okay, so we are also going to add a speech to text streaming real-time AI model using an AssemblyAI that we'll see later on, but first let's understand how we are implementing these nodes. So on the left hand side, we want to add a side panel with the notes section where user can add a notes, and on the right side we want to integrate the rich text editor. And obviously with this AI feature we have some other integrated features as well inside these nodes, and you can see the complete workflow, how this nodes section will work if you are implementing the speak to notes. So basically when you start speaking, it will automatically take taking the notes in real time. Okay, it's not like a recording and then converting into the speech to text. In real time you will see the actual result on the note. Okay, so these notes you can get it from the eraser doc so that it will be easy for you to implement. But I already provide you the prompt, so you can simply copy this prompt, and basically whatever you saw on these particular notes, same thing I implemented or mentioned inside this prompt. But in order to integrate this assembly AI, I created a different model or different prompt for this. Okay, but first we'll implement the UI part. So let's copy everything as it is. We'll go back to the Codex. We'll start with the new conversation and simply paste it here. Now obviously I will make sure it will be in the plan mode, so I want to get the plan first. We will walk through with that plan and then we'll start implementing. So let's send it and then wait for the implementation plan. Now the first question it asks that how should AI refine this implemented. You can use an open AI, or if you want to go with the free AI model, you can use a Gemini's free AI model. So we can say Gemini's AI model, and let's continue with this one. Then it say how much should the / command menu include at the first version. So if you hover on this one, the core block contain heading, bullet, code block and other things. I think we can go with this one, but formatting will include a little more details. Richer block contain other things as well, so we'll go with this core block. Then what should the trash section do? Okay, so do you want to delete the completely, or you want to delete the soft? You can do the soft delete as well. It's totally up to you, so you can get that later on. So we'll go with the soft delete, and now we'll wait to get the complete implementation plan. And now we are getting the implementation plan. Now this is kind of Notion like text editor we want, and it uses a tip-top along with the Gemini's AI model. Here there are few key changes. You will see that what are the things it's going to update, what are the server action is going to add. Then in the editor and UI, so it will use the tip-tap dependency in order to add some basic functionality inside your rich text editor. And I think that's all pretty much. Obviously we need to add Gemini's API key inside the .env file, and default model is selected. This one we have to update that one as well. I think the implementation plan looks good to me, so I will proceed with this implementation plan, and now we'll wait for the complete implementation. So I will pause the video and then we'll come back and we'll see the final result.
A few moments later.
Now once it is implemented, we have to add a Gemini API key. Then we have to push all the database changes, and then we'll test this out. So first thing, in order to get the Gemini API key, first we'll copy this Gemini API key environment variable. We'll go to the Google Anti-Gravity because we want to edit the file, and inside the .env we'll add this API key. Now in order to generate this API key environment variable, you can go to the simply Google aistudio.google.com, where you might familiar with this Google Studio, where you can have the proper playground to test the Gemini different AI model, and you can see the model name from this model selection sidebar drawer. But in order to get the API key, click on this get API key. Now I already have a lot of API key created, but you have option to create a new API key, enter the key name and then simply generate. So I'm going to use the existing one and I'm going to paste it here. After that, adding a key, we need to push our changes. So inside the terminal, we can simply push these changes so that all the schema update will be updated to our database as well. And if you see, it's saying changes are applied. Now let's test this out. So inside this notes section, if you see, we have this beautiful sidebar where you can see all the added notes, and on the right side we have a note rich text editor. Okay, now let's add a new note. So over here we added new note, and here we say first note. Then you can add your text inside these notes. See, I'm getting added, but I don't like this blue border, so we can remove that by telling to the AI. Then you have option to mark this as a bold or slash, okay, or italic means. Also, if you want to if you select any of these option, right, you have option to refine this. Okay, so for example, I have this text which I pasted, and I want to refine some of the text. Let's say you want to improve the grammar of this one. So if you see, it's saying refining the selected text. Now it might fail because the model which added by the Codex might not be there. Okay, but it look like it successfully updated the grammar for the selected one. But there are other things, you can try it out. After that, over here you will see an option to mark it as a favorite one, and it mark as a favorite, so it will show it at the top every time. Then you can change the color. If you don't like the color, you can change it to whichever color you want. You have option to change the icon for this particular notes, right? And if you don't want, you can just delete it. So if you move to this delete, it will move to the delete option. But the interesting thing, you can bring it back. So over here, if you see, if I click on this button, it will bring back to the original. It means it doing the soft delete, and obviously you can delete it again completely from this one. So if I don't want this one, I can remove it completely. But if you want that back, you can bring it back as well. So it's kind of, you can get it from the recycle bin. Then you will see all of this option, right? Also, just for the improvement purpose, right, I'm going to add some more instruction to the AI agent that we want to remove this border. So here we say remove text editor blue border when I select to type. Also make sure the heading and title works properly. Currently it's not getting applied, not applying to text. Okay, so currently if I select any text, right, it's not getting applied for some reason. So maybe we need to fix that. But other than that, on the slash you will get a bullet list points and all. I think bullet list is also not working, so you can tell that these are some of the things you need to fix it, and then AI will immediately help you to fix that one as well. So right now if you see, Codex already started to fixing that missing feature. But overall we got, or we want, whatever that we wanted, we are getting that in a proper way. So basically we implemented this particular UI part. Now it's time to integrate the AssemblyAI. But first let's fix the small issue, and once it is implemented, you can go ahead and check it out. Right now I added some small changes in the UI. I removed the border and card style, and I want that in a mostly on the plain side. Also you will see the active nodes, how many are pinned, so some quick status. But other than that, all functionality is same. Okay, so that's how you have to add the notes section. Now obviously when you select anything and click on AI refine, so whatever the feature it mentioned, it is working as expected. Make sure if it's not working, then most of the time the issue was on the AI model side, which model you are using. So make sure to add the proper model. Okay, but other than that, everything's look good. And if you have any question until this point, feel free to ask, because we are going to push this code to the GitHub, and we are going to review with the planarch.dev, and after that we'll implement the assembly universal streaming AI model for the speech to text. Okay, so that you don't need to type it, you can just click on button and it will automatically start typing it for you. So let's go ahead inside the Codex and we'll push this code. So inside this branch, we'll create a new branch, and then once you create the branch, we have to commit it. So we'll say notes page added, and then let's push these changes. Once you push it, go back to your GitHub repo and make sure to create a new pull request. After that, once you create the pull request, you can simply merge this pull request to the main branch. Okay, but in the meantime, make sure the planarc.dev added a proper summary and proper inline comment, and make sure if inline comment you think or something need to be changed as per the planarc.dev's comment, make sure to update it. And once you are happy with all the changes and everything, you can merge your pull request to the main branch. And anytime you can go to the planarc.dev and you can go to the summary for your latest PR, so that you can know later on what are the changes you made. Now it's time to implement a voice functionality in our application, and for that one we are going to use an AssemblyAI. AssemblyAI is the best way to build a voice functionality inside your application. It provides a lot of different AI model like speech to text API, streaming speech to text API, or voice agent API as well. They recently launched an Universal Streaming Pro model, which is one of the best and fastest speech to text streaming model, and I will show you how it actually works. Also, they launched a voice agent API. It's a two-way conversation with an AI model, and there are a lot of different features you will find with the AssemblyAI. Now, in order to get a free credits, I will put the link in the description. Make sure to click on it and then join the AssemblyAI. After that, you will jump onto the dashboard. On the dashboard, you will find some of the interesting feature where you can immediately test this out, like voice agent. That is their new functionality they added. Then we also have the streaming, a pre-recorded audio, and even LLM gateway. Okay, and you can create an API key. Obviously, you can manage all your usage and everything. But let's test the voice agent. Let me show you how it actually works. Now, inside the voice agent, you can basically enter the prompt that how your AI will act like, whether it's a customer care or any other, right? Then you want to add greeting message, you can add it, and you can update these settings and start talking. So it will be a two-way conversation. But in this particular course, we are going to implement the streaming. Now, in the streaming, we have few various different models like Universal 3 Pro. They recently launched that one. Then Universal Streaming English model, Universal Streaming Multi-Lingual model, and then Whisper Streaming as well. So whichever you like, you can implement. But let me show you the quick demo with this Universal 3 model. Now, once you select the model, simply click Start Listening, and then it will start streaming as soon as we start speaking. And if you see the result in a real time, it's so fast that many other AI model is not standing in front of AssemblyAI, and that's why in many of my personal project as well, I select the AssemblyAI as my for the streaming and for a voice agent as well, and you will see the result in real time. Pretty cool, right? And that's what we are going to implement inside our application to give you a notes or other feature with a interesting functionality from the AI voice. So let's start implementing it. So I will stop listening now, and then in order to implement it, you can simply click on documentation. On the documentation, whichever things you want to implement, in this case, let's say streaming SST, right? Here you will find the complete documentation, how to integrate and all. But obviously we are not going to implement line by line, so we are going to tell an AI to implement it. So you can even copy this complete markdown. So we'll say copy, and then before that, let me go back to the eraser doc, and I already have the prompt. Okay, so first we'll add this prompt, then we'll go back to the Codex. We'll start with a new conversation. Okay, so I will add a new conversation, and then we're going to simply paste it here. After that, we'll go back to the AssemblyAI's documentation, and then we'll copy this document. Obviously Codex will automatically fetch it, but it always good to give an extra information so that it will immediately implement it. You can change this to a plan mode and then simply send it. Now we'll wait for the implementation plan, and then once we are agree on that, then we'll proceed for the implementation. So here it asks some question, and the fourth option which I added, that we want to show that immediately inside the node and don't wait for a final turn. After this, the next question is what is the maximum record session. Okay, we don't want too much, so we'll say a max 2 minutes only. Okay, and then show toast message and enable start recording button again. Okay, and then that's what we told to the AI agent, that we want these few changes. Obviously it asks first and then it asks for the permission. Okay, now we'll wait, and here we have this implementation plan. Now if I walk through that, first thing, the key changes, we need to add this assembly API key to our .env file, and then we need to obviously it will create this /route for it. Okay, it will call this streaming API, and maximum duration also it mentioned. So everything is look good to me. Then we have the node editor behavior, so it will add a new button called speak to node, and then it will control the mic and all of the thing. Okay, and there are some UI details changes as well. So we'll proceed with this implementation plan, and then we'll wait for the final result. So I will pause the video and then we'll come back and we'll see the final output for this particular feature.
A few moments later.
And once it is implemented, here we will see what are the different things Codex changed. So obviously it added a new route. Okay, and it uses this use assembly streaming.ts file in order to connect with the mic and all. Okay, so it will start streaming and everything. It also updated our nodes workspace, and only thing that we need to add inside the assembly API key in our .env file. So I will copy this environment key, we'll go back to the Google anti-gravity and simply paste this assembly API key. Now in order to generate that key, simply go to the Assembly's AI dashboard, and inside the dashboard you will see an option called API key. Here you have option to create a new API key, give the API key name, and then simply click create. Now I already have one, I'm going to use that existing one and simply paste that inside the .env, and then now you can test this out. So inside the notes you will see an option called speak to node. Okay, if you want you can change this button position, it's totally up to you. And let's start. So over here I will click speak to node. So today I have to work on some YouTube video, so can you please add that in my list so that I can create some idea. And if you see, immediately as soon as you speak, it also showing on the screen. Okay, now obviously you will see small wait time over here, because Codex is waiting for complete or it's waiting for your full stop, I will say, to complete your sentence, and then it's printing out. So you can tell to the Codex that you want in a streaming format in a real time. Okay, you don't want to wait for a long. But right now whatever it is implemented, it's look good to me, and I will proceed with these changes. But anytime you can tell to the Codex to update the logic so that it will immediately print out on the note section. So that's all, and that's how easy it is in order to connect your application and give an Assembly's AI streaming or universal streaming API endpoint so that your application stand out. This is so powerful feature to any SaaS application, and that's why I always choose AssemblyAI. Easy to integrate, very cheap in the cost wise, and the most important thing, the performance is one of the best performance you will find in the market. So make sure to create an account with the AssemblyAI. I will put the link in the description so that you can get a free access to the AssemblyAI as well. Okay, now it's time to push the code. So I will create a new branch, and once you create the branch, commit the message. Here we'll say AssemblyAI voice streaming feature added. Then we'll continue and then we'll push these changes. Once you push the changes, we'll go back to the GitHub repo. Here obviously we are going to create a pull request so that planarc.dev will review our code with the help of AI, and also make sure it will document inside the dashboard so that you can go back anytime and check it out. And here we go, perfect. And then once you are happy with everything, you can simply merge your code in the main branch. Okay, and anytime, as you know, that you can go back to the planarc.dev to review the report and all of the details. Now it's time to implement a whiteboard. Whiteboard provides you a very powerful tool to collaborate as well as to plan your idea. You can draw the things on the board and many other things. You can even add a flow diagram using an AI. So all of this functionality we need to add. The idea is simple. On this whiteboard, when user click on the option, on the left hand side, user have option to create a whiteboard and they can choose from the previous list as well. And on the click of it, on the right side panel, we are going to add this whiteboard. Now the question is how to add this tool. Now obviously in this whiteboard, we want to add an option to select the item or add a text or even sticky notes, add an arrow, square and many other shapes as well. Now for that one, we are going to use Excel Draw existing SDK. Now Excel Draw will provide a similar tool like the one which you want and which is required to the any whiteboard. The question is how to add this Excel Draw. Excel Draw provide an API, and that API we are going to use to integrate all of this functionality. Okay, it's very interesting tool in order to add inside your productive application, and it is similar like a Miro. Okay, so we are adding a combination of Notion and Miro and making this tool. So I already added a prompt for that one. Okay, it's a big prompt because we want to cover each and every small detail as well. And inside this note, you will see a different core feature because we are planning to download this particular whiteboard as a PNG file. So if user want any whiteboard to download, they can download it. Okay, we can even add a collaboration option with the other user. So with the help of Liveblock, you already see in the Kanban board how to add a collaboration. In the same way, we can add a collaboration using a Liveblocks, and you know the different use case with this whiteboard. So let's go ahead and copy this prompt as it is. Inside the Codex, we are going to paste it. So we'll create a new conversation and simply paste this complete prompt. Okay, after that, send this one. But if you want, you can mark this as a plan mode. So I will go with the plan mode first and then we'll send it. The reason about doing in the plan mode, because if agent has any question, it will ask us before planning or before implementing anything, right? And that is very important to get an exact and expected result for our requirements. Now we'll wait for the implementation plan. And if you see, the first question it asked, where do you want to save the whiteboard data, right? So we'll say database obviously. And then second question, how should AI diagram generate behave when Gemini is not configured or fails? So we'll go to this graceful error, okay, because we don't want anything random. So that's why we went with this Gemini. So we'll wait now for the implementation plan, and here we have this proper implementation plan. So this is a summary, what are the key changes. So it's gonna install the Excel Draw API or SDK, okay, so that it will add the whiteboard, and inside the whiteboard obviously it will create for that one it will create a table in order to save all our JSON output which is getting from the this whiteboard, okay, and some other things. Obviously it will use a Gemini API key which is already there, and the Gemini's model. Make sure this model exists. So in order to verify, you can go to the Gemini and go to this model, whichever model you like, you can simply pick that one. There are model already present, but I will definitely suggest go with the latest model always. And then some UI UX updates. So I think everything's look good. So we'll go with this implementation plan, and now we'll wait for the final implementation. So I will pause the video and we'll come back, we'll see what is the output for this implementation, and if we need any change, we'll make it accordingly.
A few moments later.
Now it's implemented and you will see what are the things it added. Also we have to make sure inside the terminal we'll run npm drizzle kit push command. So we'll say npx drizzle kit push command, so that will make sure our database is up to date. Here you will see it's saying changes applied. It means there was some unpublished changes or unpushed changes to the database. Okay, now let's take this. And now if I go to this whiteboard, and if you see, we have this beautiful whiteboard added. Obviously at the top, I don't know why we have this field color, text color. Okay, so that is a color picker, but at the bottom you will see an Excel draw. Here you can draw the diagrams, add other things. See, you can even add an AI diagram. Let's say we'll say simple sign in auth flow chart. Okay, and we'll see whether it's generating or not. And if you see, it's even generated that beautiful diagram as well. Okay, with the proper arrow and all. Obviously I added these things, but I can move this here and there. Over here you can remove it. I think we have pretty much a good whiteboard, except this top section which I want to remove. You can add a sticky notes as well. Okay, you can change the color if you want, but we can remove these color things, because whenever you select, right, we have this color added on the left side, so we don't really need that. Here we'll say reset the canvas. On the library section you can see, or you can find all the previous work might be you done. On the left hand side you have option to add a new whiteboard anytime, right? You can even edit the name of the whiteboard, whichever you will want to keep it. Okay, so for example here we'll say planning as a whiteboard name, and once you say, now it's changed to planning. Okay, and then you can simply draw the diagram. Now obviously we don't want this color picker function at the top, so we can remove that. We can just go back to the canvas and we'll say remove top color picker section. We don't need that. Okay, also if possible, or let me see, because when you close this, right, we have a pretty good area, but you can update it. Also if you don't want this Excel draw, right, you can remove that. So we'll say also remove welcome Excel draw placeholder, and instead add custom one, and let's send this one. So basically two things we are changing. We are removing this color picker, we don't really need that, as well as we don't want this Excel draw branding. Okay, I think that also we can remove it. We can add the custom one. Over here it's added this beautiful option. Okay, see the rename board, clear canvas, or delete the board as well. Okay, on the clear canvas it will just clear it out, whichever you draw. You already saw the AI diagram things. Okay, and the sticky notes. So sticky notes is just adding something like this, but I feel you can modify that with the extra details or some image maybe. Okay, we'll see what we can do, but you can tell to the AI to add some image on that part. It's totally up to you. You can even add an image inside your whiteboard anytime. Okay, and in that one, if you want to write, you can write on the top of this image. You can draw the diagram and anything. Now we'll wait for this change, and obviously we also want to make sure the note will be correct one. I don't really like this one, but you can get the note image and you can put that image as a note. And after implementing, you will see we have now own branding. We have this beautiful placeholder to navigate the tools and all of these things. We also removed the color picker section, and now it's look much better. I can close this sidebar so that we have complete view for the whiteboard, and we have the all the required information over here. You can add draw square, diamond, circle, text. You can even draw on this whiteboard. Pretty cool, right? If you want to add the images, as I say, you can add the images as well, like this, quick and easy. And not only that, but you can export this into a PNG file. So once you export it, you will see the output in the PNG format. Okay, so that obviously you can share this whiteboard with other people. Now this is a challenge for you, and I will put the challenge. So the thing is, you need to add a Liveblocks collaboration inside your project. And obviously once you share your email, they can collaborate in a real time. So that particular functionality, you can try it out. Let me know in the comment section once you completed it, and you can earn a proper giveaway. Obviously I will tell you more detail in the description, but let me know once you implemented it. Okay, so now next thing, we are going to push our code because we pretty much finished this whiteboard. So I will go back, and inside the branch, we'll create a new branch. So here we'll say build Excel draw whiteboard. We'll click on create and checkout. Then we'll give commit message. We'll say whiteboard feature added, and then select continue. After that, push your changes so that on a GitHub you can create a PR, and then once you create a PR, then planact.dev will automatically start reviewing your code. Once the code is reviewed, make sure to fix the changes which is suggested by the plan arc if you think it's a high intensity error, okay, or fix, then make sure to fix it. And if you see how quickly it is to get the result, and once you are happy with it, simply merge your pull request. Now let's jump on to the next feature, which is pages and spaces. Now pages and spaces will help us user to organize the information using a pages, which is a top level container, and pages are nothing but an individual document for a scalable knowledge management. For example, if you want to document something or some idea, you can even do that inside the pages so that you can keep it in some folder which is called a spaces. Okay, and if you see in the notes, I properly mention the design structure and everything. It's not guaranteed that we'll get the exact design, okay, but I already have the prompt ready for that, which we can directly use it. Now user have option to create a new spaces, and then in that user can create a multiple pages as well. There are some key features that we are going to add because it's we need to add a rich text editor in while adding a pages, okay, so that user can type it, add a documentation and all of the detail. And then if needed, we can add some AI feature in that. So let's copy this prompt as it is. We'll go to the Codex, we'll start with a new conversation, and then we'll simply going to paste. Here I'm going to change this to a plan mode, so we'll see what kind of output we are getting. And once you send, we'll just wait for the implementation plan. Obviously Codex might ask you some of the confirmation question. You can just select the appropriate answer for that one. So we will wait for this implementation plan. So over here, if you see, we have this how functional should spaces collaboration in the first implementation. So we have option called real invites recommended. So if you hover on this one, it say add space, share records, member author and invite management similar to the Kanban. Or we also have option called owner only version 1. So basically with this real invites, so what will happen, it will use a Liveblock collaboration functionality inside our this particular spaces and pages feature. So we'll go with this. Then next question is how should link task count in a page preview work initially. Okay, so it will show the real task link or manual count or placeholder. So we'll go with this recommended one. And then once you selected this option, now it will obviously update the database accordingly, and then it will generate the proper implementation plan. And here we have this implementation plan. So let's walk through quickly. So it creating a new route called spaces, and the key changes are it will add a navigation, then it will update the database. After this, we in order to add the pages, it adding this new page.tsx file and the space workspace as well. Then the behavior, how it work like, okay, we have option to create a space and the pages, as well as you can open the space and selected page. It will add the rich text editor. Obviously the assembly API key and Gemini API key is already there. It means it will already working with the existing rich text editor, which has the voice capability, right? So it reusing that component. And once you are happy with all of the implementation plan, we'll proceed with this implementation plan. Now we'll wait and we'll for the final result. So I will pause the video and we'll come back and we'll see the final output, how these pages and spaces will work. Okay,
A few moments later.
once it is implemented, make sure that you are pushing the database changes by using a result kit push command, and then let's test this out. So we'll go back and let's go to this page and spaces, and if you see, we have this spaces page implemented properly. Over here you have option to search. You can even add a new space. Okay, so let's add a new space. I will say YouTube work. You can add a description if you want. Select the appropriate color. It's totally up to you which color you want to choose, and then click create space. As soon as the space is created, you will see the card. Okay, now obviously you did not add a description, but anytime if you want to edit this page, you can invite the collaboration. You can add the user's email and then they can invite. Also you can duplicate it, you can put it on archive, or you can delete this particular page. After this, you can go to this page. Currently we don't have any page, but you have option to add a new page. Okay, so here we'll say project ideas as my new page. You have different templates which you can choose it, and then simply click create page. As soon as page is created, you will be inside that particular page with a rich text editor. Here we'll say project ideas. You can change this font with a proper heading. You also have option to refine these changes. Okay, you can add bullet points. So what are the different project ideas you want to add? You can simply add that one. Also you have a voice option which is already integrated with the AssemblyAI universal streaming model. So as soon as you start speaking, it will note down directly inside your notepad. So that is another feature we added. Make sure everything is working. Then here if I go back, then you will see the page created. You have option to add it as a favorite, or you can also, here we have a problem because if you see the option is not visible, but if I go to the any other pages, you will see some dummy data, but to that one you can move this any pages to any other work pages which you already have. Okay, after that you can duplicate it, mark it as a favorite. You have option to share, export, or even delete this particular page. So all of these option already implemented. If something is not working, make sure to fix it. So in this case, when I click on the pages option, right, then it's not visible. So you can add that. So here we'll say inside new space under pages section, when user click on 3 breadcrumb or 3 dots options, then if there is only one page, the option drop down / pop over is not visible. Fix it. Okay, and then obviously AI will help us to fix that particular issue. So it means you don't need to implement anything. You don't need to find that file, which file it's made the update, anything like that. You can simply properly mention what update needed. Okay, and as you know that we already have this new page option to create the pages, and that's overall all the pages section. Okay, now whenever you want to create, if you want to delete any page, you can simply delete that page, and then you will see all the collaboration over here, the total page count, when the last page updated, all of these things you will display on this particular card. Okay, now you can even move this to a list mode. You can have option to search any spaces directly from the search bar, or you can even sort this by name or most pages or recently updated. You also have the tab to quickly find this out. So if you see this one, we archive, so it move to the archive. Also, if you want to change the UI of this one, you can change it. Another option to add a extraordinary UI using a Cloud code, just simply copy the code of the existing page, put it inside the Cloud code and ask to redesign that particular page, and it will give you the best result. And then simply copy that from the Cloud code to the your project. Okay, as simple as that. Now currently it's still working. Okay, so we'll wait. And now once it is fixed, you can check it out. So inside this YouTube page, and if I click on this option, now you will see all of those options, right? Option to rename, or option to move this particular page to any other space, right? Or you can have option to duplicate and other feature. Perfect, right? So that is very important to display those options. But right now I hope you understand how we implemented these spaces and pages section. If you have any question, any doubt, let me know in the comment section. Make sure when it's implemented, you should test each of the functionality, right? Creating a page, deleting it, mark it as a favorite, or even share functionality, export every function. You have to test it before finalizing this particular feature. If you have any question, any doubt, let me know in the comment section. Now it's time to push our code to the GitHub. So now in order to push our code, we'll create a new branch. So it's saying add pages spaces section. We'll create this branch, we'll check it out, and then make sure to commit all of these changes. So we'll say add, so it's just updating the branch, and then we'll say added pages and space section. Then once you commit these changes, make sure to push these changes as well. So we'll see a push button and then push it. After that, we'll go back to the GitHub where we have our repo, and from there we are going to create the pull request. So here we have option to create the pull request. Simply click create pull request, and then planarc.dev automatically start reviewing your code. Okay, so over here if you see it will already started reviewing our code. Obviously you can go to the planarc.dev dashboard. Here you will see all the PRs review report and what are the changes you made in that particular section, everything available. Over here you will see the summary, how many tokens you use, as well as all the inline comment. And once you are happy with all of this change, simply confirm and merge so into the main branch. Okay, so that's how we've successfully completed the pages and specification set feature as well. Most interesting feature of this application, which is an AI template builder. Basically, user will enter the prompt and then it will generate a single page mini app for you. So it can be anything like habit tracker, budget tracker, meal planner, or anything. So first user will enter the any idea or whatever the template he want to create, and on the click of generate, it will create a proper output JSON. Obviously it based on the how the UI will look like, what are the data need to save, everything. Okay, you can obviously create a multiple application and you can track all of them at the same time. You also have option to add that application on the sidebar. Okay, so that particular feature also we are going to add. Then under this add to sidebar, you will see this AI generated app. That's how we are planning to show. After this, you will see the preview how the app will look like. Obviously this is a mini application and quick just for your personal purpose, right? And this is just for you once you create this application, and there are different states to manage this app, and obviously the privacy is another important factor. Okay, so this is the complete and overall structure of this AI template builder feature. So let's implement it. So I already have this prompt. It's a little bit bigger because we want to cover all of this particular feature and flow. So I will copy this prompt, we'll go to the Codex, we'll start with a new conversation and then simply paste it. We'll enable this plan mode. Obviously, when you enable the plan mode, it will take some extra tokens, but that's completely fine because you are getting an exact output. You don't need to modify that every time. And then let's send this out. Now let's wait for the implementation plan. Obviously, Codex will ask few questions if needed. Make sure to select the appropriate choice for that one, and then it will generate a proper implementation plan in order to implement this feature. So right now, if you see, it's saying how should generated mini app behave after AI creates them. So JSON preview. So basically, it rendered a complete polished template from the saved JSON like button, form, checklist, and all of this detail. Or we also have live mini tool which contain a maker field like checklist, persist UI, entered data by per generated app, adding a more schema and state handling. So we'll go with this JSON preview option. And if you see, it's now then generated a proper AI template. Okay, so over here I think it's still generating the template, and we have the summary, what are the key changes it's making in the database. All of them are mentioned. Obviously it will use a Google Gemini as an AI model, but if you want to add any specific model, you can make sure to mention that as well. And some UI changes. Obviously we are going to add maximum 3 application on the sidebar. Okay, so we added that limit as well. We already added that through the prompt, so you don't need to add it again manually. But overall the implementation plan looks good, so we'll implement this particular plan. Now we'll wait for the final result and we'll see how the output will generate from this Codex.
A few moments later.
Now once it is implemented, you will see on this particular route, and then you just need to make sure you will apply the DB changes. So inside the terminal, I will just run a command npm drizzle kit push, so it will push all of the changes, and you can even verify that by going to the drizzle kit studio. So right now if you see, it's saying changes applied, it means it was push changes. And if I refresh this, you will see some extra tables, some updated columns in many other tables. So if you see, there are a lot of different tables as well. Now let's test this out, and here we have this AI template builder. So whatever you mention on this side, obviously on the right side you will see the actual preview, and below that you have created apps. So let's say you want to add a habit tracker. Okay, you can add more details and simply click generate. Now AI will start generating the code, and if you see on the right hand side, we have this beautiful, simple and clean habit tracker ready. Okay, now here you have option to add a habit tracker. Let's say if I click on this add new habit, so right now I don't think so it's getting added. So that particular one we have to fix, because the functionality wise it's just showing the UI, but I don't think so it's updating anything. So once you click preview, you will see in the big screen, and this add new habit option is not working. Let's try something different. So here we'll say budget tracker app. Okay, so click generate, and within a few seconds it's generating the code, and if you see, we have the ready code. So right now if I track grocery, $200, category we'll say food maybe, and then click add entry. Okay, so this add entry I don't know, yeah, it's not getting added. So functionality wise it's not really working, so that I have to fix it. But on the left hand side you will see all the created app, and if I click on this add to sidebar, right, it should add to the sidebar automatically, but let's see whether it's getting added or not. So I will refresh this and we'll see, and if you see, we have this generated app as well on the left side, and it's showing that okay, new section is added. But the layout wise it's also make some changes, so that also we need to fix it out. So let's go ahead and go to the Codex, and here we're gonna mention, make sure once app generated, it should be fully functional. Currently it's just showing UI and nothing else. So fix that issue. Also show UI generated app UI properly based on screen size. Also, when I added app on sidebar, then sidebar height changes. I don't want any scroll to sidebar. Okay, so these are some of the things that we tell to the AI agent to fix it. Now we'll wait for this fix. And now once the changes are made, let's test this out. So for example, you wanna add habit tracker. Now obviously you can add anything, but for the quick thing, I'm just selecting the easy app. And once it add, over here you will see the habit to complete. So for example, you wanna do a walk 10k steps. Let's add this, and if you see, it's now get added. Okay, so you can mark this as a completed, and you can change this one. You can add a new habit to your form as well. It's totally up to you how you want to add. Okay, now not only that, but if you want to add to the sidebar, you can add this to a sidebar, and then maybe you have to refresh it, and then you will see it is added to the sidebar as well. You can remove it if you don't want, and it will get removed as well. Pretty cool, right? So that's how this template will work. Obviously it's not a perfect, I will say, because you have to update little more extra information. You can add more prompt to enhance this particular template section. I will do that later on, but for this particular chapter I will stop here because it's getting, this video getting longer and longer. So but the thing is, you can update this particular section with your own ideas as well. Now I'll push this code. So let's create a new branch, and then I will commit the message. Here will say AI template builder, then click continue, and then you have to push these changes. Once you push it, you can go back, and then we'll go back to our GitHub repo. Inside that, make sure to create this pull request so that planout.dev will review our code using an AI. And as you know that planout is so fast, it's not taking a time more than 10 to 20 seconds. Within that, you will get a complete summary of your changes and inline comment. And then once you are happy with it, you can simply merge your pull code to the main branch. As you know that, you can view all of the information from the planout.dev dashboard, and you can even create a new project by just explaining the idea. Once you explain the idea, it will generate the tech stack, it will generate the features, and then once you have the plan ready, you can simply copy paste the prompt mentioned inside this plan section, and you can generate the complete app. Now inside our application, it's time to add a setting section. So I already added a notes for that one. What are the different settings we can add it? We are obviously, whatever the mention in the notes, we are not adding all of them, but we are adding most of them. Okay, and here is the prompt for that one, which we are going to use to implement this setting page. Now setting page is important because from there you can handle a lot of different things like category, your payment, your profile, and other things. So let's go ahead inside the Codex, and we'll create a new conversation. We'll paste the prompt, and then we'll change this to a plan mode, and then simply send this out. Okay, now obviously it will create a proper setting page implementation plan, and then we'll walk through it. After that, just I wanted to tell you, we are going to implement an AI assistant and dashboard as well, because that's very important part of our application, and then we are pretty much complete our application, because we implemented a lot of different feature, and we are just remaining with these two after implementing this setting page. So let's go ahead and check this out. So Codex is still working on it for the implementation plan. So right now, if you see, it's saying the first question, how deeply should the new dynamic category connect to the existing feature screen? So obviously, if you hover on this setting plus form, it will show you that create save category and use them in a setting plus relevant calendar, Kanban, notes, or creation, edit, control, where the app already uses a category like field. The setting only contain, it will only persist the category for now, but leave existing Kanban use their hard-coded one. Obviously, we don't want that, so we'll go with this one. Next question is, what should be the subscription section in is used as source of truth? So internal placeholder, Clerk metadata, or Stripe now. So obviously you can implement the Stripe or you can implement the Clerk metadata. Obviously Clerk has the billing feature which you can use it, okay, and right now we are going to use a Clerk billing feature for this particular example. So let's select this Clerk metadata, or here you can add your own option. So here we'll say use Clerk billing feature to add subscription. 2 subscription, one is free with some limitation and other is paid. We can call it as a pro for or with all access. Okay, so we'll submit this one and now we'll wait. And here we have the implementation plan. So obviously we have to enable the Clerk billing, that I will tell you how to enable it and how to add it. And there are some few key changes that this particular feature will update inside our application. Then we have to add this Clerk Pro plan ID, that also I'm going to tell you how to add it. And you don't need to integrate any payment gateway or anything like that, because Clerk billing provide all of the details. For the free limits, it already adding some limitation like 3 boards, 25 tasks, 10 nodes, like that, right? And Pro has all the access, which is unlimited one. So we'll copy this environment variable, and in meantime you can start implementing this feature. Then go to the Google anti-gravity inside the .env. You have to add this environment variable. After that, let's go to the Clerk and then simply go to the dashboard. On the dashboard, you already have the application created. So over here we'll go to the configure, and inside that you will see a new option called billing. Inside this billing, go to the setting, and first thing you need to do is to enable this user billing. Then here you can enable this billing, and you can save this one, but make sure you have to create the plan. Okay, now by default it included the free plan as well, but if you want you can include it. If I go back, you will see the free plan, right? This is the default free plan, it's already included. Inside this free plan, you can add the feature which is mentioned inside the Codex. For example, 3 boards, 25 tasks. So here we'll say 3 boards, then we'll add the feature. Then we can add another feature, let's say 25 boards. I will just copy the existing one, 10 nodes, 2 spaces. So here we'll say 10 nodes. Then 10 spaces. Okay, like that. And once you add it, make sure to save it. Now this is just a free plan, but now in order to make it a paid plan, again you can create a plan, give the plan name. If you want, you can add a description. Now the interesting fact about this Clerk billing, it also have a feature called free trial. Okay, so how many days you want to give this free trial with the Pro plan, and automatically it will charge once user finish the trial period. Okay, obviously user can cancel the trial anytime from the profile section, but you can add the free trial as well. Then you can mention the total amount for it, and then you can add all the features. Okay, so obviously it's unlimited, so we'll say unlimited boards. So over here we'll say unlimited board. Then we'll create this feature. Then another feature will say unlimited nodes. Then we'll say unlimited pages and spaces, and like that you can add as many features you want, and then save it. Now over here, if you see, this is the key. Okay, this is the key where you want to save inside the .env file. This is the plan ID we can say. And once you go back, you can go back to the billing, and now if you see, we have the two different plan. Now you can go to the setting and make sure it's enabled. Right now it use the Clerk payment gateway, which is recommended, but make sure once you are in the production mode, then you have to change this, or you can even connect to the Stripe account directly. Okay, but right now we are good on this settings section. Now I will just update inside the .env file, and once you update, now we'll wait for the Codex to implement the setting page. So I will pause the video and we'll come back and we'll check the complete result.
A few moments later.
So once it is implemented, we wanna make sure that we have the pro plan ID added, and also we need to push a database changes. So inside the terminal, I will run a command npx result kit push, and here we will say changes applied. It means we have some new changes for the database. Okay, once that is done, we'll go back and on this setting route. So this is the setting route, right? Let's refresh this page because this was the previous error, and now you will see we have the setting option. Over here we have profile section, account security and the workspace privacy. Then under the subscription, you will see the subscription added. Over here, that how many board you created, how many tasks, all of this information already presented. After this, we have category section where you can add a calendar category, task and Kanban category, and all of them. Here we have the event as well. Okay, so you can select the scope, add the category name, and simply once you add, it will add it to this particular section. You can even edit any of the category or existing category. Once you click edit, you will see that category will autofill over here, and then you can simply update it. Then we have AI setting, that which AI model you want to use, their default behavior, tone, and everything. Also in the note, if you remember, we have this AI refine, AI assistant. What are the different AI features you want to enable or disable, you can manage from the AI setting. Then under the preference, you can select the theme, default calendar view, whether you want week or monthly, default task priority. All of this setting you can add it from, you can manage from here. And then we also have the privacy setting. Now from the subscription setting, you have option to manage the subscription, and here if you see, you have option to manage, or if you want to upgrade the subscription, you have option to upgrade that as well. Currently it's saying plan not found because maybe the plan, we have to restart application in order to load the plan which we added. But other than that, everything look perfect inside the setting section. Okay, so that's how easily we can add the setting page which matches to our existing all the setting option which is required inside our app. So guys, that's all. Obviously we are going to push our code. We'll create a new branch first, and then once you create a branch, we'll commit the message. Here we'll say setting page implemented, say continue, and then make sure to push your code. Once you push the code, let's go back to the GitHub so that it will give you notification to create a pull request. And once you create the pull request, automatically the planout.dev will start reviewing your code, and once it is reviewed, then you can check all the inline comment, its summary, and then once you are happy with everything, you can simply merge your pull request. As simple as that. Okay, so that's all. If you have any question, any doubt regarding this feature, let me know in the comment section. Now let's jump on to the another feature, which is an AI assistant page, which is a very interesting feature because we already have the option called AI assistant, and this AI assistant will do a lot of work from one place, so you don't need to go in individual places. Okay, now let me show you what are the things that we are going to implement. So first we want to add a proper page layout where user can enter a message, or even user can directly talk with the AI assistant. Then and we want to implement an empty state where a user will get some option at the top. Okay, then the chart behavior. So over here we want to show a user and AI message in a clean chart bubbles. Then we want to keep a conversation history visible. We also want to add a multi-line prompt support. then adding a loading and typing state and all of this information. Then AI task action. Now over here, this is the important part. From this AI assistant, user can directly add a task to the Kanban board or create a new Kanban board or add a reminder or a task to the calendar directly on a specific date, or even create a note, summarize or refine the note, and many other features that this particular AI agent can perform. Then this is the complete flow, how it actually works. Then in the voice assistant, obviously the way that we want to enable this, just click on the microphone and then start speaking it. Then that will automatically convert in a real time from speech to text. We already have that functionality exist, right? Then we will send it to the AI, and then this is an optional thing whether you want to listen a response from the AI or not. That's completely optional, okay? But I'm going to tell you how we can implement that part. Then this is a user specific functionality, so obviously each user has a different functionality. Key benefit is one place to manage everything, faster workflow, natural language control, voice plus text support, better productivity and smarter app exercise, and some keynotes as well. So this is overall flow, how it actually gonna work, and I already have the prompt written for this one. Now in order to add a voice agent, you will see a voice agent option, which is a new feature added by the Assembly AI. Assembly AI completely redesign it, guys, okay? So we'll see everything. Now over here, you can simply add a system prompt, okay? This is the prompt guide where you will learn it, how to add a prompt and everything. After this, you can use an existing template. For example, we have the grocery roll, car dealership lead or reservation, okay? And once you add the prompt, you can add a greeting message and some other details. And if I start talking it, so let's say start talking. Hey, yes.
Looking at what? You wanting to book a table?
Yeah, I want to book a table for 6 people.
Thanks for calling Trattoria Bella. Looking to book a table?
Yes, I want to book a table for 6 people.
What date and time are you looking for?
On 19th of May around 7 o'clock.
Sure, May 19th at 7 o'clock for a party of 6.
And that's how, guys, it will work, okay? So it actually do the two-way conversation. So similar kind of functionality you can also add. So you can simply go to the documentation. I will put the link in the description, and inside that make sure to select this voice agent. Over here it has a complete implementation, how this work, all the details. You can even copy this prompt as it is, or Codex will automatically detect this document. Now first thing, I will go back to the eraser doc, copy this prompt as it is, okay? We'll start with the new conversation and then I will paste it here. After this, I will also going to copy this documentation. So let's go ahead and copy this documentation, and you can paste it here, okay? And then simply send it, but make sure you will change this to a plan mode, and then we'll send it to the AI agent so that it will now go through all of our project structure, because obviously it need to know what are the different functionality we have to add and give the capability to the AI. Okay, now we will wait for the implementation plan. Now it asks first question whether for the assistant microphone button, which behavior should be the plan lock-in. So spoken agent means it will give you the two-way conversation, so we'll go with that. And here we have this implementation plan ready. So we have the summary, and if you see it is referring the Assembly AI's documentation. Then what are the different key changes it's gonna add, then different assistant action. We already have the API key added, so you don't need to worry. So these are some action it can add, like creating Kanban board, add a Kanban task, create a calendar task or reminder, create a note, and many others. Then it's gonna implement a voice assistant. It's a two-way conversation, and some UI changes as well. Okay, so we'll proceed with this plan. And now you just need to sit, relax, take a sip of coffee, and then wait for the final result, because this will take some time. This is a big implementation and AI gonna make a lot of changes in the application, so we'll wait and once we have the result, then we'll go through it.
A few moments later.
It is implemented, we'll also make sure our database is up to date. So I will add a new tab inside this terminal, and then we'll say npx result kit push. If the change is already pushed, then we'll say a different message over here, but we'll see and we'll verify the changes. And if you see it saying the no changes detected, it means the changes already pushed. It's a good thing. So let's go ahead and go to this AI assistant. Now inside this AI assistant, as per our requirement, if you see at the top, we have the some suggestions, right? And then we also have an input option. You also have a talk button where you can do the two-way conversation. But let's say hi message and then hit enter. Then AI will return the response. Okay, now we'll say I want to add reminder on my calendar. Okay, so just send this message, and then you will see that you are missing title and schedule date. Let's add for 20th May, and title is meeting with client. So hit enter. Once you hit enter, so it's right now it's saying the free limit reach 5 A action per day, upgrade to pro plan, right? Because we added some limitation as well. So let's for the testing purpose, we're gonna go to this VS Code, and inside the user preference, if you see we have action plan day, currently it's 5. So let's make it 50 for the testing purpose, and then we can try it out. Let's say continue. I don't know what to say, but yeah, let's say continue. And now if you see, we got this beautiful generative UI for this one. It's saying okay, it's going to add the calendar invite with this title, and you have option to confirm. Once you say confirm, it will add that meeting with the client as a task on the calendar or reminder. Now if I go to this calendar and we'll go for a 20th May, you will see on 20th May we have this task added directly. So basically you don't need to add it from the calendar, you can directly add it from the AI assistant, and that's what we want to implement. And you can do it for anything. If you want to create a Kanban board, let's say you want to create a Kanban board, and if you see, it's also added that Kanban board option with a generative UI. You can say confirm, and then once you confirm it, it's saying the Kanban board is created. If I go to this Kanban board, you will see the new board created with the name. Obviously you can change the name, or you can mention that name on the AI assistant, and it will create the Kanban board with that specific name. Okay, so that's how the AI assistant will work. Now let's test this voice agent functionality which we added using that assembly AI. So let's start talking it.
Hey, I am ready. What should we work on?
Hey, I want to schedule a task for tomorrow.
To schedule a task for tomorrow, I can propose adding a task to your flow-based workspace. Should I include details like the task title, description, or assignee in the proposal?
Yes, so please add a title as schedule a meeting with a client for tomorrow inside the calendar.
It seems there was an issue with the tool. Let me try again to add a task titled Schedule a Meeting with the Client for Tomorrow in your calendar for tomorrow. Please confirm if you'd like to proceed with this action.
Yes, please proceed.
I apologize for the inconvenience. It appears that the tool isn't supporting the current request. Let's try to simplify the task. Would you like to proceed with a different approach or add a basic task without specifying the title and details to the tool?
Okay, let's add a task in the calendar.
It seems we're encountering an issue with adding the task through the tool. Let's try a different approach. Would you?
Okay, so there is an issue with the adding a task, okay, but that's fine. You can try it out, or you can tell to the Codex that there is issue while adding a task, because when we try with the text, it work it. Sometimes you have to refresh it and try it out. It might be a small glitch, okay, but the most important thing that you saw the how we did a two-way conversation, right? It give you the proper realistic human like voice and give us a reply, and then whatever we talk in a real time we are sending to that AI, right? It's we are not clicking any button again and again. Everything is possible. We just once you click on the talk button, just like any other popular AI application. But I hope you understand how we easily integrated this Assembly's AI voice agent as well. If you have any question, any doubt, let me know in the comment section. Now the issue was we have, right? You can just fix it by adding a proper input or prompt, and then it will fix it for you. Now what we'll do, in the meantime, I will pause the video and I will fix the issue. Okay, you will find that complete demo of this application. I will put the link in the description so you can go ahead and check it out. Now what we'll do, we're gonna simply create a new branch in order to push all of these changes, and then we'll go add a commit message. Here we'll say AI assistant added, we'll say continue, and then we'll gonna push all of these changes. Once we push the changes, we'll go back to the GitHub in order to create a new pull request. Once you create a pull request, then planout.dev will automatically review your code, which is always good to review your code by some other developer. And in this case, planout.dev is our developer who is reviewing our code. Once you are happy with it, simply merge your code to the main branch. As simple as that. Okay. Now that's all. If you have any question, any doubt related to this AI assistant, let me know in the comment section. Now currently on the dashboard, we have this placeholder, right? And when we create the dashboard layout along with the sidebar, this placeholder added by the AI. Now we want to replace it with all new and real-time dashboard where it will update based on your all the activity. So I already have the prompt created for this one. Okay, so let's copy this prompt as it is, and then we're gonna paste it inside the Codex. So I will start with a new conversation, add it, and we'll change this to a planned mode and simply send this out. So in this particular dashboard, we want to add a quick action buttons based for this all the features. Then the AI insight based on your activity, whatever the upcoming calendar reminder or task status, everything we gonna display on the dashboard. Now we'll wait for the implementation plan. So here we have some questions. So it will ask how should dashboard quick action behave. So you have the navigate on only or inline dashboard where it will navigate or deep link forms. Okay, we'll go with this navigate only because we don't want to make it too much complicated. And if you see, we have the implementation plan. So inside this implementation plan, it will add a new updated dashboard, and then it will add some loading state as well and some data rules. So we'll proceed with this implementation plan, and then we'll wait for the final result.
A few moments later.
And once it is implemented, let's go ahead and check it out. Now inside this dashboard, you will see all the functionalities, features, different status. That in calendar there are 4 upcoming items, in Kanban there are 2 tasks, node there is 1 node, and all of the detail. Also we have the quick access section where you can simply click on it and it will navigate to that particular page. Okay, then we have the task summary, that there are 2 total tasks, 0 are completed, 2 are pending, and 1 are overdue, that is directly fetching from the task Kanban. Then we have upcoming calendar, which fetch from the calendar section, the recent activity, which will show you all the recent activities. So whenever you do any activity, based on that it will show the complete log. That we had last time we had 8 AI actions, then we set up meetings on the calendar, then we created the AI templates like that. Then here you will see the recent pages, and the most important, the AI insight. AI insight will give you the based on your all the data, it will give you the response. Okay, so that's overall about the dashboard, and you can obviously close this. You can view the complete view by collapsing this dashboard as well. So guys, that's all about this dashboard. Dashboard is just a visual representation of your activity, all your status, and all of the information. But if you want to add more data, you want to add some feature styling, you can simply go ahead and add that. So I'm happy with whatever we implemented with the dashboard. So it's time to push our code. So I created a branch, we'll give the commit message, and here we'll say dashboard implemented, then click continue, and then push your code. Once you push the code, we'll go to the GitHub in order to create a pull request so that planarc.dev will review our code. And obviously anything comes with a red dot means high impact, that make sure to fix that one. And once, if you see currently is medium, that is perfectly fine, but if you anything you saw in the red circle, then make sure to update and fix that particular change. But right now let's merge this pull request to the main branch. Now it's time to wrap our application because we pretty much finished all the functionality for this productive SaaS application. And for this app, if I go to the localhost 3000, which is the if I log out, obviously I have to log out, and if I go to the home screen, currently we don't have any landing screen, and user is directly navigating to the sign in page. Now in order to add a landing screen for our application, I have the prompt, but before that let me walk through what are the things we implemented. First, after setting up the project, we added a DB and authentication setup. Then we added a dashboard layout with a sidebar. Then we added a calendar page with all the functionality. After that, the Kanban taskboard. Then we also added a note with the AI voice assistant. Then whiteboard, the spaces and pages. Obviously we use a Liveblock for the collaboration as well. Then AI template builder, and last AI assistant page. But after this we also updated our existing dashboard. So it's time to add a complete landing screen. So our application will be ready to deploy on the production. So I will copy this complete prompt, and then we'll go back to the Codex, we'll create a new session and simply paste it here. We'll change this to a plan mode and then simply send. Now we'll wait for the implementation plan, and here we have the implementation plan. Inside this implementation plan, you will see the key changes, landing page implementation with all the details, and then the last test plan. So we'll proceed with this implementation plan, and now we'll wait for the final result.
A few moments later.
And here we have this beautiful landing screen with the hero section, proper header as well. Then we have feature highlight, that what are the different feature available inside this app. Then how it works section. Then product showcase, so it will show the different product features inside this app. After that, we also have the collaboration section, how this collaboration works, the use cases as well as the pricing, and then we also have the footer section and testimonial. Pretty cool, right? And all of this is included in this landing screen. Now on the click of get started, you will simply navigate to the sign in page, otherwise you will redirect it to the dashboard page, and then you can simply sign in. So that's all about this landing screen. Quick, easy, clean and very fast. So let's push this code because we pretty much finished our application. So I will create a new branch for this landing screen, and then we'll give a commit message. Here we'll say landing screen, then we'll say continue, and then we'll push these changes. Once it pushed, we'll make sure to create the PR or pull request. Here you will get a pop-up to create a pull request, and then simply create a pull request. Then planarc.dev will automatically start reviewing your code. And once you are happy with all the inline comment, then simply merge your pull request. Now it's time to deploy our application. We implemented all the functionality which we mentioned inside this eraser doc in a step-by-step way. We created and divided this complete project into a small chapter in order to implement each of the functionality. And at the end, it's time to deploy our application on the cloud. And for that one, we are going to use a Vercel. And deployment is very easy. Before that, we'll go to the Codex, and then we'll open a terminal. Inside that, we'll run a command npm run build. This command will find if there is any runtime issue. If it's there, make sure to fix it. So once you run the command, obviously it will build your application and will check for the errors. Once the build is successful, then you don't need to worry about, and as you know that we already push all the code to our GitHub, right? So on our GitHub branch, we have all the code ready. Now simply go to the Vercel. If you don't have account, make sure to create a new account and then simply click add new project. Inside this, you have to make sure to connect your GitHub repo and then you will see your project name. Simply click import and then it will automatically detect the framework for the web app. But here you need to add the environment variables. Simply copy all the environments variable from .env file and then paste it here. Once you paste it, it automatically assign all the key and its respective value. Okay, so you don't need to enter the key and value one by one. After that, simply click deploy and then your deployment will start immediately. It will build your application, install all the dependency, and then it will assign a domain in order to run your complete project on the cloud. So we'll wait for the deployment. And if you see, our application is now deployed. If I click on it, you will see a domain for it, right? And obviously you can edit this domain or you can attach your own custom domain as well. And then your application is now running. If I go to this get started action, you can even simply sign into your app, click continue, and then you will redirect it to the dashboard page. After that, you can access all your data which you are using in the development mode, right? Everything is there. See, pretty cool, right? So that's how you have to deploy your application. If you have any question, any doubt until this point, let me know in the comment section. Also, if you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, press notification bell icon so that you will not miss any update, and press like button, and don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. So guys, we'll see you in the next video.